Hero Complex by Tygermine. Read by Ella Max Mabella. Summary. Hermione is trying to keep her menagerie from closing down. In an effort to stop this, she stumbles onto a murder, political games, and a missing persons case. Chapter 1. Lemongrass does not keep cats away. "That cat is back," called Charlie as he stepped through the back door, cradling a baby Namibian sandbagger dragon. Its wings had been torn by an ambitious lion cub during a playful wrestling match. "Again!" Hermione looked up from her desk where she had been doing the monthly accounts. Who knew Okumis were so expensive to feed? That sanctuary in Nepal had to be shut down last week because the Mugger government decided it was right in the middle of their blasting zone. "I heard the same happened to the Burmese border. We should look at some land in Mozambique." Hermione shook her head. "They are still finding landmines everywhere." "So I guess Mildred is staying a little longer?" Charlie jabbed his thumb over his shoulder to point at a rune spore in the enclosure outside. "It's ridiculous that we can't get these creatures homed as fast as we should." "Pets are hard work, Hermione. Not everyone can give them the attention they deserve." Charlie was being reasonable, and it irritated Hermione because she liked to think she was the reasonable one. A pathetic meow echoed outside the window closest to her desk. Hermione opened the window and stuck her head out. "Not today, you greedy little coward. Either you come in and stay, or you're not getting any food." "What is with that cat?" Charlie had moved to the sofa, and the dragon was now nestling in his lap. "I don't know. I feed it and offer it to space in the back for the night, but all it does is steal my ham sandwich and disappear. Ungrateful git." "Maybe it's not fond of other cats." "I'll have you know, the rest of the cats are delightful." Mrs. Potts, a fat, fluffy ginger cat, suddenly launched herself onto Hermione's desk and proceeded to push her quills off the desk one by one. Jinxie, a miniature black cat, sat on the floor, listlessly pushing the fallen quills around the floor, while Saber, a Maine Coon crossed with an African Blackfoot, pounced on the rejected quills. The meow came again, this time from the window box. "Stop trampling my lemongrass, you ingrate!" complained Hermione, opening the window to scold the cat. It simply ducked under her arm and jumped into the room, skittering towards the feeding room before anyone could stop it. "Guess it was hungry?" Charlie asked as Hermione stared dumbly at the patch of flattened lemongrass. The baby dragon purred and belched, setting Charlie's sleeve on fire. He calmly patted out the flames and continued to stroke the dragon into a doze. "Charlie, I don't want to be a pessimist here, but if we don't get more funding, we're going to have to close." "Oh, Miney, it'll be fine." "No, you don't understand. If Bingley gets her way, she closed the entire department of magical animals, meaning there will be no more funding for anyone. She's already got a list of social improvement groups she wants to target. Claims there isn't enough money to support a bunch of useless animals when the wizarding world has bigger needs." "Maybe this is something you can fight if you go back?" The look Hermione gave Charlie could have peeled the forest green Victorian wallpapers from the wall. There was a sudden clang, followed by various cats growling and screeching at each other. A white blur shot through the room and out of the window. "And stay out!" Hermione called after it. "Stupid bloody cat! Bugger, I'm going to be late. Charlie, don't forget to lock all the gates. It happened one time. Miney, you don't need to remind me every day." "That one time nearly cost us an arm and a leg." "Don't tell me. I still limp when it's cold." Tiffany Bingley had plans. Big plans. The kind of plans that saw her complete her Hogwarts education in a mere 6 years and her apprenticeship within the Ministry of Magic in only 1. Ambitious was too small a word to truly describe Bingley's pursuit of power. The youngest Minister of Magic was her goal, and by Merlin, Morgana, and Mordred, she was going to achieve it. After all, her motto was, "The ends justify the means," and she embraced every letter of it. There was, however, a bushy-haired speed bump on her path to greatness, and it was currently sitting in front of her office as she arrived. "I didn't know they were allowing the general rebel into the ministry before 7 these days," she pinned Hermione with a haughty look. "Or are you simply lost?" Hermione rose from her seat beside Bingley's office door and brushed down her sensible professional office pantsuit. "I was looking for the Department of Magical Creatures, usually on the second floor of the basement, but there was a sign that they had moved. The witch in the atrium pointed me here.
Unless you're an unregistered villa, I don't see what business you have with that department,
replied Bingley, crossing her arms. My business with them is my own. Could you just tell me where they have been moved to?
Oh, come on. Like I would do anything to help Hermione Granger. You leaving the ministry has been the best thing to happen to this place, so I'm not about to assist you wiggling your way back in here. You have no idea the amount of chaos you caused, which I have to fix.
Hermione had spent most of her life dealing with people like Bingley, and she had learned long ago you only punched them when the rope they'd hung themselves with was around their necks. And yet, the urge to smack that perfectly done-up face was more tempting than her favorite cranberry muffins at the coffee shop in Finchley. Hermione took a calming breath, plastered a smile on her face, and nodded. I see, I was misinformed about the directions. I'll find my own way, thank you. Hermione's passiveness, while interpreted as weakness, was anything but. As she walked away, she already had a 20-step plan on how to send Bingley exactly where she belonged. Hell. That night, after tracking down the Department of Magical Creatures in the sub-basement level of the Ministry and putting her case forward for a massive fundraising drive, Hermione embarked on the Wizarding World equivalent of Googling Bingley. She pulled out every back tissue of the Quibbler and Daily Prophet she owned. She was temporarily perturbed by her collection and how far back it dated, but for now, it was exactly what she needed to dig up dirt on Tiffany sodding Bingley. Armed with a pair of scissors, she scored the pages for any mention of the cow. She was in the middle of cutting out a small write-up for Bingley's fourth-year jewel ball at Hogwarts when scratching at her door caught her attention. Looking through the keyhole, she saw her doorstep was empty. It was probably just her imagination. She stepped away, only for the scratching to return, followed by a familiarly pathetic meow. How the hell did you end up here? The white cat that haunted her menagerie was on her doorstep, and it looked a right mess. Its white fur was more pink with scarlet streaks around its hindquarters. It meowed softly before limping across her threshold. "Oh yes, do come in, uninvited," she muttered as she closed the door. The cat dragged itself to her bathroom and lay on her new, fluffy white bath mat, not caring that it was staining it red. Hermione followed it and knelt down, opening her bathroom cabinet to pull out some first aid supplies. "I take it you haven't endeared yourself to the local alley cat population, have you?" She carefully examined the cat from head to tail for wounds. She found only one. It was a nasty gash across the left back leg. She soaked the face cloth in hot water and began to gently clean the wound, the cat hissing and growling as she worked. "Oh, hush now! You only have yourself to blame," she gently scolded the cat. "Don't move." She grabbed her wand from the table and returned to the cat. Hermione whispered, "Valeria Noxus," and the cat fell asleep. With some deft wand work and some charms, the cat was cleaned and bandaged in no time. "Valeria Lumina," she finished off, and the cat blinked its eyes, slowly coming back to consciousness. The thing about spells for witches and wizards, they tend to have slightly longer-lasting side effects on animals. So when the cat woke up, it was a little woozy. In other words, the cat was as stoned as a Hufflepuff after newts. Her kitchen clock helpfully informed her that it was almost 2 a.m, and she should go to bed, refusing to be dictated to by a clock, and made a pot of Jamaican Blue Mountain coffee, for she, Hermione Granger, had a mission to complete. Thank you for listening to today's chapter of Hero Complex by Tygermine, read by Ella Maxmabella. If you would like to stay up to date on upcoming chapters and stories, you can follow me on AO3, YouTube, Spotify, Tumblr, or Instagram. Thank you all for listening.